Good day everyone, it's Caitlin, and today we are making nearly 2 dozen hand-stitched diapers. Alright, well, welcome. So yes, this is a different setup than I usually have. This is my mother's sewing room. They're out of town and I'm kind of house sitting, so I brought my sewing and my filming supplies. We're going to make some baby diapers. Anyway, so we're going to make diapers via the Workwoman's Guide, and so I have some diaper cloth. This one's cotton because the linen is like $28 a yard, and this was $4 a yard. And so this is also whiter, and I can get more diapers out of it. So this was kind of a no-brainer for me. It's not going to... Linen absorbs better than cotton, so like cotton will feel wet when it's soaked through, whereas linen will just feel cool to the skin and won't necessarily feel wet. So baby will stay drier. I should mention at this point, I am not pregnant. I am a person who cannot stand deadlines, and I know once I get pregnant, there's a very definite deadline for when I need these things done. So with the possibility of me becoming pregnant in the next year looming, that is why we're making diapers. Because once I am pregnant, then there's a deadline, and I don't like that. So we're going to do this before the deadline happens. That's the whole purpose of this. Anyway, so my solution to the whole cotton linen thing was to use some linen I have, maybe make a little insert for the diaper, which would not be necessarily historically accurate, but it would at least keep baby's skin dry, which is important. So we're going to use the cotton because it's a lot cheaper, or the cotton diaper is. So I'm going to cut a square that is 45 inches long, or not really a square. I'm going to cut a long piece that is 45. That is 35 right there. So I need 10 more inches. Okay. Okay, now I have these bits that should be exactly 45. Alright, so now I need them cut into 22.5-inch strips. Basically 10 nails wide, but 22.5 inches is here. Oh. Okay, there's one. I don't suppose this needs to be quite... Oh, it's just a little bit off. Okay. That is only 1 inch. Not what I need it to be. I was going to cut it 2 inches nearer where it is. We'll make some smaller diapers too. I'll probably mark the smaller ones somehow. I guess they'll kind of know. Okay, so I have 2 bigger ones and a slightly smaller one. So that's 3 so far. I have 11 yards of this stuff, so I think we're going to make 25 diapers. This one actually is long enough. Okay, that was weird. Okay. So from each length I can basically just get some diapers. So from every 45 inches of fabric I get 3 diapers, because I think this is 60-inch wide fabric. No, it's more than that. It's like 65. Anyway, it's wide fabric. So there's 6. I'm going to keep going for a while until I get all the diapers, and we're going to iron them, and I'll show you what to do next. Alright, so I'm ironing all the fabric. I'm actually using that bad. The rest of them have been really, really wrinkly. But I just want it to be nice and straight so that when I sew it, it's easier to sew. Basically what I'm doing these in batches of 5 because that's a manageable number. I think I told y'all earlier I was doing 25 diapers. That is not true. I'm doing 2 dozen. That is 24. I think originally I thought about doing 25 because I was doing 25 or something. I was like doing it in intervals of 50. I was doing it in intervals of 25, so like something was going to be 50 and something was going to be 25. And I don't remember what I was doing at that point, but I got confused. The Workwoman's Guide and other resources mention them by the dozens. So 24 is 2 dozen. So my doing it by 5s didn't quite work out, but I did one set of 9. I did a set of 5 and a set of 9, another set of 5, and now I'm working on the very last set of 5. Alright, so I have the diaper, or one of the diapers. I'm just clipping the corners. And if there's any like really loose threads, I'm pulling them out. Okay. Then I put my hand through the little hole and turn each of those corners through. And then I'm going to flip the whole thing inside out. Okay. And now I need to go iron this down. The ends, making sure they're nice and even. They make it to where there's no pleats or folds in it. I found it just helpful to start at the top, which is a stitch line, and work my way down to the bottom, which would be the fold line. And I found that works the best. And then when you get to your little corner that's open, fold, and move this over so you can see a little better. You can fold the raw edges in, even that out, iron it, and we'll stitch that down in just a second. It's going to go in my pile. I have at least 1 or 2 more to do. Alrighty, so change of scenery again. Now I'm at my fiance's house. We're just going to be doing this project all over the place. So I have the diapers here, and they're all nice and ironed and pressed and all that. So I have the holes here. We're going to just stitch those up. If you're doing a machine time period, then I actually have some belly bands that they had a hole like this and they just machine stitched over it. So if you're doing machine stitch time period, that's an acceptable way to handle that. And you're just whipping that closed. And I'm doing these by the half dozen, so I'm whipping 6 of them, and then I'm on those same 6 pinning the ties and then sewing the ties on all 6 of those, and then I start on the next half dozen. So this is my very last half dozen that I'm working on. Alright, then I'm going to fold it in half to make a giant triangle basically. So there's 2 corners, and then I have this corner that's folded in half. I'm going to make a mark 5 inches from the corner, and I'm going to put a tie there. So I cut my ties 20 inches long. Just pin that. Go to the exact opposite side, same thing, 5 inches. Get a 20-inch tie. Put it there. Okay. Now unfold it, and on this bottom one, I'm going to find where it's 2 inches wide. Put a mark on the inch, so it's halfway up, and then an inch up from that corner. So I'm basically going to make a T with my pins. And I have 3-inch little ties, or this is going to be a loop in a second. Matching it up with the horizontal one and the vertical one. Just folding in the ends so they are not raw. There you go, and now I get this little loop. And now I can stitch it. I'm going to go ahead and stitch this one. So take one of the 20-inch ties, And I'm doing back stitching, so I'm just on the very edge. And I'm sticking anywhere between 12 and 16 stitches per inch for this part. I was at 16 at the beginning of the 2 dozen, and now I'm more or less about 12 stitches per inch. So they've gotten bigger as I've gotten tired of working on this. Basically, I'm just going around in a square, so these are 1/4 inch ties, it's 1/4 inch that way, 1/4 inch up, 1/4 inch across, and 1/4 inch down. And I figure that's plenty of security to keep these ties in place. These are going to get some wear to them just because they're going to be used to tie, so there's going to be some stress and strain on them, so I definitely want to make sure that these are nice and tight. Cut that off. Then I'm going to move down to the loop and do the same thing basically. So I'm going to go all the way around this first half and then all the way around the second half. Alright, camera died, so I went ahead and started working on some, but we're going to go ahead and pick up where we left off. We were at the little loop, and I think the last thing I said was that we're basically going to go around this first one and then go around the second one. So starting at the bottom of the one on the left, or at least it's my left. Going up about 1/4 inch. It gets very thick in this corner because the seam allowance. Go. I should have brought a thimble. My fingers are definitely feeling the brunt of this. Going across again. Back down. Oops. Ah, keep catching the loop. Then we're going to go back up this way on the second one. Across. Oops, lost my needle. Down on the other side. And across the bottom. And there we go. So that's the loop done. And then we have one more tie to do up real quick. And I do this the same way I did the first. And after this I have one more to do. And I shall be done with these diapers. I have to go purchase some fabric for the other ones. I'm just about to run out of thread, so that actually worked out very well. Alright, and then I've been folding it. So just pull the ties on the inside. I've been getting rid of like all the dog hairs and any other bits of thread that I find. They go nice and pretty. Folding it in half, so now I have a rectangle. And folding it into thirds. Taking away all the little bits as I come across them. There we go. And then that's how I'm going to store them. Alright, I have one more to do and then we'll move on. I think we're going to do pilchers and then the other diapers, simply because I don't have the other diapers in. But it depends, so we might do the other diapers first. I guess you'll find out in a second. Alright, let's make diapers number 2. So this one just says, another mode of making napkins. The piece, when cut off, should be merely hemmed like towels, and when used, are doubled and put on like the others. The great advantage to the simple sort is that when there's but one baby, they come in after nursery use for towels and other purposes, whereas the others are comparatively useless. So basically, we're going to make a towel. I think I'm still going to put ties on these because I can cut those off easily if I wanted to use them as towels later. But then I would still be able to use them as tied instead of pinned. So we're going to make these smaller. We're going to make this newborn size. And basically, how I determined this was my very technical way of, I have a doll that is, she's supposed to look like a real baby doll. So it's a reborn doll. Back when I very briefly made baby clothes and sold them on the side, I needed a model, and I was like 16, 17. I didn't have a kid. No one I knew had a kid. So I bought this doll. Actually, it was a little bit later. It was like, I think I was like 20. Anyway, yeah, because it was after I moved out. So yeah. Anyway, so I have this doll. She literally sits in a box, and I don't do anything with her. But I was like, hey, she's the size of a newborn. Let me go put these diapers on her that I just made. And it was quite large on her. But I happened to have a 16-inch napkin in my kitchen. So I grabbed that and put that on her, and that fit her a lot better. So we're going to cut these 17 inches. With seam allowance is going to end up around 16 and a half inches. So my very technical way of determining what size diapers I need. So 17 inches. These are dirty, so I'll have to wash them. Okay. And 17 times 2 is 34, so we're going to cut the other side 34 inches. I think I should cut them the other way. So, and it's going to be just barely, no, it's not going to be quite there. Ah, I'll have to use this for something else. Okay. Note to self, cut them the other direction. Of course, I don't think I can with this end. I don't know if this is actually 17 inches though. It is not, so this will have to go to another purpose as well. I think I have a whole other length of this stuff. Alright, let's try it this way. So let's do 30, well, let me even up this end first. Alright, so we're working on some second diapers, and I'm hemming them all around. And yes, I am doing them by hand. Because again, these might be used for like 18 teens to 1840s, and we don't have sewing machines. So they're going to need to be hand stitched. Not that anyone's going to be seeing my children's diaper, but I will know that it's there, and I will know there's machine stitching on it, which would not be appropriate. And I will care. So this isn't about anybody else. This is about me being my weird perfectionist self. Yeah, I'm just doing a typical hem stitch. It's not particularly difficult. It's just time consuming when you're making 25 of them. So, although actually I'm making 22 because I cut 25, and I started these diapers like 3 months ago, and then I moved and had a wedding and other things happened. So I have somehow lost 3 of the unsewn diapers. And so right now we're going to have 22 until I can find those other ones. But I still feel like that's a decent amount of diapers. So, and honestly, In a 3-day weekend, that's 22 should be mostly okay. And if I absolutely had to, if I had a kid who was, needed a little bit more diaper changes throughout the day than the 8, I could always just use the larger diapers and bring a couple extras just in case. Although I guess that really wouldn't work out if I had 2 in diapers at the same time. 22 should still work out just fine in theory. I'll probably find them eventually, so we'll just, when I find them, I'll go ahead and make them up. Then you go all the way around the diaper. And again, the Workwoman's Guide said this one doesn't make up as fast because you have to do the hem stitch around, but it does lend itself to being more useful because after use as a diaper, you can always take the ties off because we're going to add ties to these. You can always take the ties off, or if they were pinned on, you wouldn't have to take the ties off. And then you can just use them as towels because this is basically the same size and shape as a towel, at least by 19th century standards. In which case you get double the use out of this, whereas the other ones are all comparatively always diapers, although I could take them inside out, undo all the stitching, and then hem them again and reuse the fabric, but that's a lot of work, don't you think? So we'll go ahead and fold them in half. We're going to add the ties now. So, and again, they're just going to be folded essentially the exact same way, just like that. And then baby sits here. This goes around baby. This goes up, and their little legs kind of come out like this. And that's baby's diaper. So what I need to do now is add the ties exactly as before, except I'm going to I think we did 5 inches or 6 inches last time. We're going to do 4 inches this time on either side. So I'm using the same size ties and everything. I used a back stitch last time. I've been kind of lazy with these. I've been just doing a running stitch, but then like backing at the corners, which is basically just doing a back stitch almost all the way around except for like 2 stitches. So I'm doing the same pattern basically as far as the stitching goes, making it nice and secure. Because, of all the articles of clothing, this is the one you don't want to fall off. Also, I lost my train of thought earlier with the whole 2 kids in diapers and only having 22 of these. But, if all else fails, I can take a just wet diaper and I can wash it at an event, let it dry, and, reuse them. It's not like they are one-time use every event. There is such a thing as laundry, and I can do laundry in the 19th century if I have to. I'd just rather not. So 4 inches from either corner. So when I'm sewing these, I'm being very careful to only sew through one layer, because when I unfold these, I still want them to be a rectangle. And again, you don't have to add the ties. You can very well pin these on. To be very correct, of course, you need straight pins, as we've already discussed. Or I think we've already discussed. I mean, this has been like 3 months since I've actually filmed any of these diapers, so I don't remember what we talked about 3 months ago. I'm just hoping that I said a lot of things. And I think I did, because I think I rambled for a very long time. I'm probably going to have to cut a lot out. By the way, if you notice video quality enhancement or sound quality enhancement, I got new cameras in the 3 months. So you may be noticing something different from the last set of diapers. Hopefully it's a good change. So that is one diaper. So I have most of them done now. I think I have, I've had them all sewn. I think I have 6 more I need to put ties on, and then I can be done. And then of course there's the 3 that are missing that I will hopefully find eventually. But yeah, so that's diaper set number 2. And I wish I didn't pack away that doll, because then we could actually try them on and I could show you how they fit and all that. But I packed her away and I have no idea where she is. She's not at my grandmother's house. I'm about 95% sure she's not at the cabin with Rhett. So I assume she's in the storage unit somewhere. Where? I have no clue. So there's no way I'm going to be able to get to her. but we can at least put these on the ground and kind of show off all the things. So I'll get both sets of diapers. We can talk about the differences and show you them side by side. All right, so I did not take out all 40-something diapers, but here are some of the ones that we did. So here are the first ones, and you can see they're quite large. You can't see all that on the screen, but yep, they're quite large. And here are the smaller ones also put into a square. So can you see like the size difference? Quite a bit smaller for little tiny babies as opposed to the giant, but larger children. So again, like we've already talked about how to wear them and all of that, but I did want to show you like the size difference. And again, these are always going to be diapers, unless of course I did take them entirely apart. That seems like a lot of work. But as opposed to these, which I just take off the ties and they're usable towels. This one turned out to be not quite as square as I think I would prefer, but oh well. So yeah, those are the two types of diapers in the Workwoman's Guide. The towel-like diapers, I call it the towel diapers, and the bag diapers. I call these bag diapers just because this is how you bag line something. Like when you line it right sides together and you turn it inside out, that's called bag lining. So in my mind, these are bag diapers and towel diapers. Now those are not period terms, but that's what I call them. That's what makes sense in my brain. But yeah, so again, these are cut as per the Workman's Guide directions. They only gave one size for diapers. Trying these on a doll, these are far too big for little tiny babies. So we made little ones for newborns, probably up to 6 to 9 months, depending on the size of the baby. And then these can kick in after they've grown out of these. But yes, that took quite a long time. Hand sewing almost 50 diapers, not something I recommend for most people. We made nearly 50 diapers, and that was a lot of work. Oh, I don't look forward to doing that again. Hopefully this is enough diapers. I really, really hope this is enough diapers. And surely for 3 days events, 25 should be fine, right? But a lot of them are just wet, so I can like wash them and set them out to dry and have clean diapers for baby to put back on. But big ones, that should be perfectly fine. Those are our lovely diapers, all made from diaper cloth, cotton diaper cloth. But again, you know, these would work just well, and linen diaper would have been good. Any type of old used linen would have been perfect. But we used cotton because that was cheaper, and when you're making 50 of them, cheap is always a good idea, especially when it's something that kids can be pooping and peeing, and you don't necessarily want to spend you don't want to use a $20 yard fabric for that. I can't justify that. So this is the next best thing. If I absolutely need to, I'll use a linen insert to kind of make it feel soft against baby and make it not so wet feeling. If I find that to be a problem, like if I change baby and I'm seeing, oh, they're a lot more wet than they should be, I might try a linen insert, which wouldn't be period accurate, but at least it would make baby safer and prevent rashes and all that. So, or at least help prevent rashes. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed our diaper making. That was a lot of fun. Super, super long process, but we got them done. So we can move on to something else. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe to the channel. And as always, have a fantastic week, and I'll see you back here on Monday.